everyone. I'm Amber Hauk, and I'm the host of the Embracing the Golden Years podcast. I have Renee here. We've worked together in senior living for almost 10 years now, and she is going to speak on respite care for us. Renee, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey, my name's Renee Antolik. I am a regional director of business development in the long-term care space. And like Amber said, we've worked together for about 10 years now. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. All right, to start off, um, I would like to know what exactly is respite care and how does it work?
Yeah, sure. So respite care can be defined in different ways. It can provide short relief for caregivers. Um, you know, so that they can rest, they can take
Right,
care of themselves, they can rejuvenate, get some things done because a lot of caregivers don't have time to do all of that because they're taking care of
right,
someone.
right,
So it can also be provided by many different individuals, from friends to neighbors to, church members, volunteers, and then you can also get it paid. So respite is a great resource for someone, even the most resilient of us. At
right.
times, they need their own time.
Perfect. All right. What are common situations where respite care becomes a necessary or a helpful option for others?
Yeah, so asking for help isn't always easy,
Right.
especially if it's a spouse who's caring for their loved one. Sometimes they don't want to ask for help, but a lot of times in situations can become emergent, because that spouse, for instance, is trucking along and they're not taking care of themselves and they end up in the hospital. So that
Right.
leaves the person they've been caring for by themselves. So sometimes there's an
Right.
emergent situation that comes up. Other times it's, siblings, or it can be children who want to go on vacation. And they're like, well, what do we do
Exactly.
with mom or dad for the time because I can't bring them with me?
Right.
So it can be a vacation situation, a wedding, a lot of people who are in that sandwich generation, they still have work.
Exactly.
There's a lot of different things that they're doing as well. So it can be a vacation, it can be an emergency situation. It can also just be, I need a weekend.
Right.
I just need a weekend to myself. Maybe it could be an hour. There can be a respite, for an hour long so I can get to the grocery store. It could be for a day. So that way, if you need to go to your own appointments, then sometimes it could be just a day. So the situations can vary and the time can vary as well for how long someone might need some type of respite care.
Right. You touched base a little bit on how caregivers can get burnt out. How can family members or friends of these caregivers notice when they need a break, and how do they start that discussion with them?
Yeah, recognizing signs, that's a big one. Because again, going back to not everyone wants to ask for help. That can be the hardest thing. So I think as as caregivers, you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. So if you find yourself getting frustrated with the person you're caring for,
Right.
if you find yourself tired and not being able to really do your day to day, then that's a sign that maybe you do need to take some time off. If you know of a caregiver, taking a look at them. Are they still going to their appointments? Are they keeping up with going to the beauty shop or going to
Right.
their own doctor's appointments? Do they seem depressed? Do they seem like they've been disconnected and not really keeping up with what's going on? Do they appear stressed or anxious, tired? Those are all signs that they might need some help themselves. Um, so yeah, so there's there might be some minor signs, but then there might be some significant signs as well. So
Right.
you just kind of keep an open mind and make sure that you're touching base with those folks that are caregivers, and checking in on
Right.
their mental health as well.
Perfect. So, what steps should families take to find and arrange quality respite care for their loved ones or for um, someone they may know?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's different ways, I think, different steps that you can take. The first is really kind of determining what that respite need is. Is it an hour? Is it a day? Is it a week, a weekend? Trying to figure out who your resources are. Do you have friends and neighbors and other family members that might be able to step in for you, especially if it's only for an hour or 2 hours? If you've run out of those options and there's really nobody that knows how to care for your loved one, because it could be a specialized care that you're providing.
Right.
You can also go on websites. There's a lot of resources on the internet. If you looked up respite care by me, there's different sites that you can go where they can direct you to agencies that provide respite care. So you definitely kind of need to take it a step-by-step approach. And one of those is determining, well, how long do I need for the respite care? And then the next step would be, do I know somebody? If not, then maybe I need to reach out and find an agency that can provide the respite care. And if there's not really an agency or that's not an appropriate situation, then you can look into a facility for placement. A lot of times skilled nursing facilities can be that option because they can provide 24/7 care, which sometimes can be difficult for a family or a loved one or a volunteer to do some type of an overnight situation. So that's when maybe that skilled nursing environment or even an assisted living environment, if the person is appropriate for that, those could be some options in your area. So looking up those facilities in your area, giving them a call, asking them if they do respite care, going in, taking a look at those facilities, meeting the staff, touring, asking questions, making sure that it's the right environment for your loved one as well. There's other options and looking at the price, because sometimes respite is not covered by insurances.
Right.
So you have to determine, what does your financial situation look like? Do you have funds to pay for respite care? When you call these facilities, finding out how much it would be, talking through with their admissions personnel and asking them what the process would be, trying to get a feel for what the price tag of that is. Sometimes insurances will cover respite depending on the type of insurance you have, like a Medicaid product. Other times it could be through aging. If you're already affiliated with Area on Aging, sometimes that could be a resource for you. I think that taking those steps are going to help you move in the right direction, and then making sure that you actually schedule the time away.
Exactly.
And then getting it booked, in advance.
Perfect. How can we help normalize and prioritize respite care as part of healthy caregiving?
I think normalizing it is key to any successful process. I think having conversations and really knowing your options, being okay with asking and talking about it as a caregiver, it doesn't mean that you've, failed at doing a good job. It just means that you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself so you can continue to take care of the person you're caring for. Talking to your external resources. Maybe there's people at church, maybe there's people in your community, finding groups of networking. There might be other caregivers out there that you can connect with and talk about your concerns, and asking how they've reached out for help. Text your family, normalize it, talk about it. I think that sometimes we forget to talk and communicate how we feel, and we keep it all bottled up inside, and then it becomes too late sometimes, and then we wish we would have asked for help. So I think putting it out there in the open and having the conversations, making sure the person you're caring for understands why you're doing this, and talking it through so that it becomes a normal conversation.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All your information was super helpful, and I think it'll be helpful for people in the future who are trying to understand what the next step is and how to better care for their loved one or themselves.
Yeah, I agree. That's, it's a lot of information. Definitely utilize the internet. It's a plethora of information out there that can kind of give you a little bit of more of an understanding, and different forms of hospice, for different needs. So you got hospice, respite, you've got long-term situations and short-term situations. So knowledge is power.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for hopping on.